Over the severe weather outlook and the tropical outlook. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do so, I have not made a video in a while, as I'm sure some of you can tell. We did have a moderate risk, but I was never able to make a video on that. But yeah, there was a moderate risk that played out pretty well. It had a lot of tornado warnings in it, and then definitely very strong winds in it as well. But let's go ahead and get into it. So today we have a slight risk in portions of North Carolina and Virginia, and then we have a marginal risk surrounding that in portions of South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. And we actually have two other marginal risks, one up in Montana, and then another one in portions of Nebraska, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, Texas, a little bit of Oklahoma, and then New Mexico. And all of these have a less than 2% tornado risk, but we still can't rule out a tornado. And then we have a 5% wind risk in both of those marginal risk areas, and then a 15% wind risk in this slight risk area, and then two of those risk areas run a 5% hail risk as well. But the main thing is going to be wind for today. And we actually have a mesoscale discussion up for portions of North Carolina and Virginia, and this has a 40% chance of development. And this says thunderstorms capable of damaging wind gusts possible this afternoon. So that would be a severe thunderstorm watch if that does get issued. Let's take a look at our day 2 severe weather outlook. We have a marginal risk in portions of Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, a little bit of Wyoming, and then a little bit of Colorado. And this has a less than 2% tornado risk as well, but still can't rule out a tornado. And then it has a 5% wind risk and a 5% hail risk in a smaller region. And then we actually have a day 3 marginal risk as well in the same areas where we have that slight risk today. So portions of North Carolina and Virginia have a marginal risk, and as of now, it's just a 5% risk of severe weather. Most likely is going to be for wind and possibly hail. Let's take a look at the tropical outlook. The National Hurricane Center is not seeing any tropical areas that could develop. So tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days, but we still will be watching. And then in the Eastern Pacific, we actually have two areas to watch. One has a 10% chance, but this most likely will not develop as they have been decreasing its area of it. They have been decreasing its chance of development. Sorry. And then we have an area behind it to the east, and this actually has a 20% chance of development in the next 7 days. But we are not expecting too much out of both of these systems. Let's go back to our day 1 risk. Here it is, and slight risk in portions of North Carolina and Virginia. That's going to be the main area to watch today. So with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.